Right now at 6, an arrest made in a shocking road rage incident on Highway 26.
I've been an officer for 20 years and my jaw hit the floor when I saw this video.
What we're learning about the suspect and the charges he's facing.
Plus, how a group of inmates doing some work along a forest trail ended up saving a hiker's life.
Luckily, we was there in the right place, right time.
And the Real ID deadline is just about here.
What would you tell the people that procrastinated?
Get down here and get it done.
What you need to know before you book your next flight.
But we begin at 6 with breaking news coming into us from Clark County, where authorities are searching for a man they say who tried to kidnap a teenage girl at gunpoint. This is around 8:30 this morning in Vancouver in a residential area on Northeast 149th Street near 4th Avenue. The sheriff's office telling us a man armed with a handgun approached the girl and told her to get in his vehicle. We understand she was able to get away.
The suspect here is a white man in his 20s or 30s with shoulder-length brown hair. He was apparently wearing blue pants, an orange hoodie, and was also driving a newer 4-door metallic blue car. Detectives are hoping someone in the neighborhood or a passing driver caught the man on camera. Call the sheriff's office if you have any information.
We'll keep you updated on that. Meanwhile, in Washington County, Beaverton police have arrested the driver they say deliberately sideswiped a motorcyclist in what appears to be an extreme case of road rage, knocking him clear across the highway.
Our Devin Haskins is live in Hillsborough near the courthouse. Devin, what charges is that driver facing?
Yeah, Samir Pizzotto-Filho is facing several charges. Is in court today, earlier this afternoon, on charges of reckless driving, assault, and using his car as a weapon. Meanwhile, the motorcycle rider that he's accused of hitting is back home recovering after being released from the hospital yesterday.
It's a video that quickly gained attention after it was released Monday afternoon. On Monday morning on Highway 26, this blue Kia Carnival knocked a motorcycle rider off his bike in an apparent case of road rage.
I've been an officer for 20 years and my jaw hit the floor when I saw this video.
By Monday evening, the driver had been arrested.
State versus Samir Pizzotto-Filho.
41-year-old Samir Pizzotto-Filho charged with assault, unlawful use of a weapon, in other words, using his car as a weapon, and felony hit and run, among other charges. Beaverton police credit the sharing of the video with his quick arrest.
We received dozens and dozens of tips from our community, and ultimately, it was one of those tips that led to the arrest of the suspect.
The motorcycle rider, named Corey, is back at home recovering, suffering only minor injuries. KGW spoke with his sister and mom on Monday before an arrest had been made.
He's bruised and banged up pretty bad, but otherwise he's okay.
His family says the driver almost hit Corey once before they came into the dash cam's view.
I don't care what happened prior to it. It doesn't give anybody that right. And motorcycles on the road are just like cars. They have license, they have rules to follow, but who in the right mind? That guy has issues, and I'm sorry he has issues, but who in the right mind would do something like that? I don't understand.
As dramatic and scary as the video is, police credit where on Highway 26 this happened, saying it could have ended worse.
When motorcycle riders are killed in crashes like this, it's because their body comes to an immediate stop. Like they'll hit a Jersey barrier. In this case, his didn't. He took the Cedar Hills Boulevard exit and kind of slowly slides to a stop without contacting anything.
And as the tips started pouring in, there were claims the driver had been aggressive before.
We think that this fella has been involved in this before, maybe in the days leading up to. So we're hoping that people will come forward because we think that there's prior incidents, or we know that there's potentially one prior incident.
So Devin, I imagine some people may be wondering, will the man accused in this road rage case be back on the roads anytime soon?
He'll be in jail for at least the next week. So next week he has a court hearing for a preventative detention hearing, and the Washington County District Attorney's Office wants to keep him in jail until his case finishes. And that's what that hearing will determine, is if he gets bond or stays in jail for the entire time. Back to you.
Okay, I appreciate your follow-up on this case. Thank you, Devin.
In your headlines, Gresham police say what began as a suspicious death investigation is now considered a homicide. Officers were called to a mobile home park just before 8 yesterday morning along Northeast 201st near Birdsdale Way. That is where police say they found 22-year-old Ahanu Johnson dead. Investigators haven't said how Johnson died. They're asking anyone with information to contact detectives.
And 5 people are facing misdemeanor charges after a protest on the Portland State campus got unruly. Around 7 o'clock last night, a crowd gathered outside Smith Memorial Union to rally against conservative activist Riley Gaines, who opposes transgender women competing in women's sports. Gaines, who was scheduled to speak at PSU. Protesters apparently tried to force their way into the building. PSU says only one of the 5 arrested is a current student. Graffiti was left on the building overnight, but was cleaned up by this morning.
Dozens of Rite Aid stores across the Pacific Northwest are now at risk of shutting down after the company filed for bankruptcy for the second time in less than 2 years. The company first filed in October 2023 and downsized from more than 2,300 stores nationwide to about 1,200. The company says it is now looking to either sell or shut down remaining stores. Right now, it has more than 30 locations across Oregon and more than 130 in Washington.
Federal investigators need your help finding a man they say stabbed an elephant seal pup on the Oregon coast. It happened at Niskayuna Beach in Tillamook County on March 16th. The injured seal survived and was found near the Proposal Rock condominiums. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, released a sketch of the suspect, a white man about 5'10" with a possible gap between his front teeth, as well as black and white hair and a beard. He may be driving a dark blue 1990s Dodge or Chrysler van with a rear window covered in plastic. Call the number there at the bottom of your screen if you have any information. Matt?
I'm glad that pup is okay. All right, we had an amazing day here in Oregon, 84 degrees in Portland. That makes it the warmest day of the year so far, tying last Thursday when we also hit 84 degrees. 80s down I-5, except for in Eugene, 79 there. Even had mid to upper 70s on the north coast. So really just an incredible day for early May like this. Let's look at May so far. The days in red, all above average temperatures. One day, Saturday, with a slightly below average temperature. We nailed average on Sunday and then back to above average these last 2 days. Again, 84 today, 84 last Thursday. The warmest days of the month so far and of 2025. Now tomorrow begins with some sun, and you might want to keep the camera handy too. Sunrise at 5:49 with the high clouds coming in. It might make for a nice sunrise. Partly sunny later in the day, and tomorrow we top out at 73. It'll be cloudy in the afternoon and showers will follow shortly after that. Now, what's ahead through Mother's Day? Well, again, we go back to warm, dry weather to finish off the week and begin the weekend. But then there's Mother's Day, and that's unfortunately when we transition from warm, dry weather to cool and at least occasionally wet weather. The high on Mother's Day, only 64. So big change coming our way this weekend, guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt.
We're learning more this evening about a Vancouver car crash where one vehicle ended up on top of another, with a family of a woman who is seriously injured now saying she may lose part of her leg.
Our Daisy Caballero joins us from Vancouver. Daisy, you spoke with the woman's family today. What did they tell you?
Yeah, David, Christine, Jessica White's brother, tells me that she's doing all right and has been in great spirits despite everything that has happened. And since the accident, she's undergone several surgeries. And last update, doctors do say that they may have to amputate part of one of her legs tomorrow.
One of the greatest people in my life her life is forever changed because of his dumb decision.
The Vancouver woman, seriously injured in a car crash last month, remains hospitalized and may lose a limb due to the injuries from the accident.
Her right leg never really was able to regain blood flow, and that she lost a pulse into her leg.
Dean Baker is Jessica White's younger brother. He says he's thankful his sister is alive after a speeding car lost control, jumped over the median, and landed on top of her car off Northwest 162nd and 7th Street in Vancouver in mid-April. Dean's family is claiming the at-fault driver was street racing with another car, though Vancouver PD says, based on the investigation, that's not true.
It's almost even more frustrating that there wasn't another person, because that means it was just your stupid decision.
Vancouver PD didn't respond to our request for an interview, but said the at-fault driver remains in the hospital with serious injuries after speeding and weaving in and out of traffic the day of the crash. And as for Jessica, she has undergone 5 surgeries after suffering spinal damage and multiple broken bones in both legs.
They did an 8-hour surgery on her last week, and we thought that was going to be the thing to save it. and the surgeon was optimistic and said that her choices were better than a coin flip.
Jessica tells me she remembers the accident very well as her steering wheel hit her dashboard and glass flying everywhere. This incident has changed her life immensely, and not just for her, but for her mom with Alzheimer's, who she takes care of as well. She hopes the driver understands this could have been avoided if he followed the speed limit. In Vancouver, police do say that the driver at fault here has not been charged. He has not been arrested because, as I mentioned, he does remain in the hospital. And when he does get charged, his name will be made public. Now, as for Jessica, the family is continuing to need any donations, whether that's on GoFundMe or signing up on any food chain, meal chains, for the family affected here. We'll have those links on KGW.com. Back to you guys.
Just a reminder how one moment, a split second, really can change lives forever. Thank you, Daisy.
You know, we have been talking about the Real ID deadline. We've been talking about it for years, but finally, we are just hours away from that deadline hitting. So, starting tomorrow, the federal government will be requiring everyone 18 and up to present a Real ID or an acceptable alternative like a passport card, or military ID to board a commercial U.S. flight. If you don't have one, you can still fly for now, but it may take longer to get through security. We checked out the DMV locations in Beaverton, Gladstone, and Lake Oswego this afternoon. The lines weren't too long. Most people got a number, then left to do other things while they waited for their turn. We spoke to some, though, who were waiting for more than 3 hours to come back. But they said it's worth the hassle now to make sure upcoming trips go smoothly.
My kid's going to the Navy in 2 months, and I want to go to his graduation, so I want to be able to fly and see him.
I thought I had it, and then I looked at my ID when I was getting ready to book my flight for Vegas, and then I just saw that it needed that little circle in the star, on the side with that star, and I'm like, dang it, I gotta get it.
So you just heard him talk about it. This is what it looks like for drivers in Oregon. This star in the top right-hand corner is what you're actually looking for. They cost $30 more than a regular license. In Washington, they're called enhanced IDs, and they'll say that at the very top. Now, to get one, you need to follow the 1, 2, 3 rule. You have to bring one proof of identity. That can be a passport, birth certificate, or other legal resident documentation. 2 proofs of address. This can be a number of things, from an unexpired license, car registration, business mail addressed to you, pay stub even, or a rental agreement. And after that, expect your Real ID to arrive in the mail in about 3 weeks. So plan accordingly if you have upcoming travel. Now, if you still have questions about the Real ID, you can text them to us using the number on your screen. That is 503-226-5088, and we'll sort through all your questions. Tomorrow morning, we will bring you the answers to get you ready for the summer travel season. That starts at 9 a.m. We'll have team coverage at airports across the Pacific Northwest. To watch, you can download the free KGW Plus TV app on your smart TV, and you can watch for free.